Knocking on 2026, a declaration of awakening in the age of information symmetry, written to all who are ready to recalibrate the parameters of the mind. Prologue, standing at the turning point of history. The year 2026 is not just another page on the calendar, it is a watershed where the old world collapses and a new world is born. Not a metaphor, not a prophecy, but an objective reality unfolding before our eyes. We stand at the edge of a cliff. Behind us lies an old world that has operated for thousands of years, coded on information asymmetry, conditioned by violence as the default observer, governed by the habitual hierarchy, money greater than life, greater than truth. Ahead of us lies a mathematically coherent new world information symmetry, where every problem becomes a mathematical problem, and what we desire becomes reality, replaces reality, defies our desire. Why must the old world collapse? Because its operating system has failed. Why must the new world emerge? Because its mathematical foundation is already in place. The only suspense left is this: how long will we remain trapped in malfunctioning minds? How many disasters must occur before we adjust the most fundamental parameter? This is a declaration of awakening written to everyone ready to recalibrate the mind.
Part 1. Diagnosis: the malfunctioning mind and a world out of order. Chapter 1. The first parameter: information asymmetry. The human brain is an exquisite biological computer. At its deepest layer, it runs on a fundamental operating parameter, one written over millions of years of evolution. It determines how we process information, assess risk, and make decisions. That parameter is information asymmetry. It is the product of dark forest survival. You do not know where the enemy hides, so you must remain vigilant. It is the product of agricultural uncertainty. You do not know whether next year's rain will come, so you must hoard grain. It is the product of traditional markets. You do not know whether the other party is honest, so you must engage in repeated strategic games. This system sustained us for millennia. But today, the world that justified this parameter is disappearing at a speed beyond comprehension. The internet, humanity's own vast mirror, is flattening information gaps at the speed of light. When you want to know something, you search. When you want to verify something, you trace. When you want to connect, you reach. Information is objectively trending towards symmetry, yet our brains still interpret this new world with old code. This is the master valve of today's crises, a brain designed for asymmetry operating inside an age of symmetry. Chapter 2. A coherent world, a paradoxical mind. Two examples illustrate this contradiction. Case 1. Two paths of group buying. In 2008, group buying was invented in the United States. Theoretically, it could have evolved in two directions. Path 1. Producer led the path we took. Platforms negotiate discounts on behalf of consumers. It is merely traditional commerce replicated online. Path 2. Consumer led a path invisible to 8 billion biological computers trained in asymmetry. Micromodel. 1.4 billion Chinese citizens each register an intention to spend 100 yuan on clothing. That creates 140 billion yuan of deterministic demand, roughly 70 billion in cost and 70 billion in profit. Let industry participants bid using their leisure time. With tens of thousands of competitors, the only rational move is to expose true costs. At that moment, information becomes fully symmetrical. The optimal technology, supply chain, and design assemble into a super enterprise. Its value exceeds 10 trillion because it locks in recurring annual orders while eliminating intermediary costs. Case 2. The ultimate form of crowdfunding. In 2009, crowdfunding was invented in the United States. It also had two possible paths. Path 1. Start small, depend on producers. Path 2. Depend on consumers to $1 each and crowdfund Amazon. Following the second path, anyone can calculate. Total consumption times distribution commission times perpetuity equals infinity profit. Reinvest that profit to mobilize global intelligence and build a consumer-owned intelligent system minus 8 halves sharing. Yet this path remained unseen for 16 years. Not because of conspiracy, but because a brain coded for asymmetry cannot perceive a symmetric path. The fundamental contradiction of our era is this: a mathematically coherent new world confronting a paradoxical old brain. Chapter 3. The Four Horsemen. When the old brain meets the new world, disasters follow. First horseman, debt crisis. Micro, Zhang's debt equals Li's asset. Macro, humanity's debt equals humanity's asset, a mathematical identity. But an asymmetrical brain cannot see identities, only panic. Second horseman, environmental collapse. Survival-driven finance distorts investment. Debt is externalized. The planet pays. Third horseman, war. An asymmetrical brain assumes violence as observer. Every nation sees threat. Arms races become rational. Fourth horseman, AGI backlash. AI researchers widely fear AGI may destroy humanity. Why? Because our binary code reads evil equals 1, good equals 0, power equals danger. The strongest must be evil. Four horsemen assembled. The old world trembles. Part 2, Dissection: How We Became Trapped. Chapter 4, The Binary Code Evil 1, Good 0. The observer embedded in the human brain is violence. Under a violent observer, all goodness appears fragile. Truth seems impractical. This is the root of human suffering. A brain coerced by violence becomes structurally distorted. Unless we switch the observer parameter, the trajectory leads inevitably to debt crisis, environmental collapse, world war, and AGI backlash. Chapter 5. The habitual hierarchy: money greater than life, greater than truth. For millennia, civilizations have ranked values: money above life, life above truth. When truth is last, consensus collapses. The more people, the less shared ground. Control replaces conscience. Education becomes obedience training. Judgment is outsourced. Individuals lose agency. True learning should create a community that practices loving the person as oneself, not containers of memorized knowledge stripped of independent thought. Chapter 6. The dependency structure in asymmetrical systems. People outsource responsibility. Blame flows outward. Authority absorbs expectation. Truth becomes secondary. Money becomes the only reliable anchor. Chapter 7. The deadlock of free. The internet created infinite knowledge. Price: 0. Free sharing trapped asymmetrical minds for 2 decades. Adjust one parameter. From free sharing gives equity sharing. Leisure time creates infinite value. Consumption, coordinated through a consumer-owned universal application public market, also becomes infinite in value. One parameter shift. Systemic coherence emerges. Part 3. Awakening the mathematical inevitability of the new world. Chapter 8. The mathematics of the public market. Basic formula. Value equals annual consumption times n% commission times perpetuity. Example. Sister trillion chum 510 1 years don't you inflations. Implications. Future profit collateralizes stored value. Currency appreciates rather than inflates. Innovation scales globally. After all expenses, surplus remains infinity. Arfanjaba sharing. Bifenjabasha to consumers. Infinity bifenjarshta to producers. Infinity not mythology. Mathematics. Chapter Joe. Intelligent liberation. Universal basic income emerges as dividend. Technology becomes shared infrastructure. Medical access, education, agriculture, elder care, all scale through symmetry. Information asymmetry. Investment is risk, an obligation. Information symmetry. Investment is power, a right. Happiness becomes preference aligned. Chapter 10. $1 like the smallest unit of power. Love under asymmetry feels like burden. Under symmetry, it becomes power. $1 like is the minimum voting unit of the future. Not charity, not sacrifice, authority exercised. Chapter 11. The exponential game. E gives R gives spa shilok. Participation compounds. Visibility creates trust. Trust accelerates alignment. Chapter 12. Paid learning reordering value. From money is greater than or equal to leisure, time is greater than or equal to truth. 2. Truth is greater than or equal to leisure, time is greater than or equal to money. When truth leads, markets self-correct. Chapter 13. The formation. Where do you stand? The old platforms relying on asymmetry face structural obsolescence. The question is not whether transformation occurs. The question is, Where are you positioned? Observer or participant? Fear or alignment? Chapter 14. E equals MC, a living interpretation. Mass seeks eternity in time. Energy seeks expansion in space. Equality implies reciprocity. Love is the exchange between permanence and motion. This is physics. This is metaphysics. This is the structural grammar of the universe. Chapter 2. Two civilizations. Mass culture. Hoard and stagnate. Energy culture. Connect and radiate. Connection outlives possession. Chapter 16. Preloaded sin, preset redemption. Biology preloads survival bias, but symmetry enables redemption. Choice determines trajectory. Epilogue. Knocking on Arlo. Information asymmetry breeds frustration. Information symmetry enables coherence. Investment shifts from obligation to power. One world, one consumer-owned structure, one mathematically coherent coordination layer, not sacrifice, participation, not waiting, acting. 2026 is not a year to observe, it is a year to move. The door is there. The question remains, where are you? Knocking on 2026 begins with